Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is a 585th YouTube battle that I've put on our channel. Straight away you'll see that it's a medieval Total War 2 battle. As a lot of you know, we play Rome Total War every Friday and every Saturday night, but Sunday we kind of mix things up a little bit where we play games of Barbarian Invasion and medieval Total War 2. We find that, you know, playing those two games on the Sunday kind of mixes it up a little bit. So, as I say, we enjoy playing them. Okay, what we do first is we'll go to the single player and custom. Let's say this part of the game here, you can see this is where you choose what battle map you're going to play on. As you click on it, you get different pictures. Let's say you got there, you can see the periods there. You can play early, high, late, or all. I always go for all so that we've got full access to every unit for every faction. I find that more interesting. As I say there, if you look, as you click on each one of those maps, you'll get a snapshot of what the map looks like. So we're going to move on now. Let's say here you've got the faction selection. We've tried different monies on this game, but we find that 20,000 florins each seems to give a good balanced army to all the factions. So that's what we play for, 20,000 florins each. And as I say, if you look at the different factions here, that you've got the Aztecs, they even got the Aztecs there. I don't see anybody ever bringing those, but as I say, you've got all the different factions there. And what we're going to play with today is Russia. Okay, now this is the first time I've used this faction. Okay, so the army that we're going to see here is one that is a saved army that when I looked at this faction, I thought, well, I'll look at all the units there and try to make a good saved army out of them. But of course, you know what it's like until you actually play with these with units and these armies, you don't really know what they're like against good players. So there's my selection there. I say I've got the good long distance archers there. They got good range, got good defense. It'd be interesting to see how well they do. I think they're dismounted Devor, I think they're called. So it'd be interesting to see how well. And they've got the Tsar's Guard there as well, and they've got a 15 attack and a 20 defense. They look really good cavalry to me. And then we go on to their infantry. I've got 112 man 312 man spear units, and then I got the I think the Britishi axemen there, which are effective against armor. So that's my army there. The archers and cavalry are very good, but the infantry we'll just have to see. They just look pretty mediocre to me, but we'll soon find out during the course of the battle. So as I say, this is the first time I've used a Russian faction, so it'll be interesting to see how well this this saved army of mine does against really good players. And there we go. So next time I'll be seeing you, we will be on the battle map of Pavia. This is one of the most popular battle maps in the game, Pavia is, and you'll notice that we've played on it before. This should be a great one for you to watch, and I hope you enjoy it. And welcome to the battlefield of Pavia. Those of you that watched our battle videos before will have seen that we've actually fought on this map when we've shown other medieval Total War 2 battles. Here you can see that long track there divides the two teams there. There's a long straight track. It looks like it might be an old Roman road maybe. So our first teammate is Brotherhood member Demon, who has bought the Spanish faction. Okay, now just to say, Spain I believe is one of the most powerful factions in the game. We've spoken to some MTW2 veterans who tell us that Spain and probably Portugal are the two most powerful factions in the game. So, and I believe Demon has actually watched some videos on medieval Total War 2 where the people making the videos have also confirmed that Spain is probably the most powerful faction in the game. So as you can see how Demon does with them there. Okay, here you've already got dismounted feudal knights. They look quite well armoured to me. And if you notice here, you'll see that he's got two types of cavalry. He's got a chivalric cavalry there. I quite like the chivalric cavalry there with their kind of coloured lances there. I think they look pretty cool. And you've got the conquistadore cavalry there as well. Now, make no mistake, these two cavalry are elite cavalry units. You know, those two cavalries, they're really, really good. And then, of course, he's got his pike units there as well. If we have a look at those, and if you look how long those pikes are, now remember that the enemy have got to fight their way all the way down those long pikes to kill the man on the other end. So make no mistake, these units are really, really good, and I think there's 112 men in these pike units, and that takes a lot of breaking there from attacking head on. So it'll be interesting to see how well Demon does with this Spanish army. And there you are, you've got the Pavis crossbowmen. Remember, these guys got effective against armor crossbow bolts. They've got really long range, really good defense. If you notice, they got their shields on the back. That's so when they reload their crossbows, they can turn their back to the enemy, and their back is protected by those shields. I remember the Pavis crossbowmen in real life had this with this shield attached to their back. So as I say, it takes a bit of time to reload a crossbow, and that's why they've got those shields on their back. So while they're reloading, they're protected from enemy missiles. So it'll be interesting to see, as I say, how well Demon does with this Spanish army. As I say, Spain, I believe, is reckoned to be the best faction and most powerful faction in the game. Okay, and then my army, as we looked at earlier, is Russia. Okay, as I say, it's the first time I've used this faction, so it'll be interesting to see how well they do. And that's the archers there, the dismounted Devore archers. Now they've got a long range. You can see how well armoured they are, so they've got really good defence, and they looked really good archers to me when I was selecting them. Then you've got the spearmen, the 112 man spear units there. I would tend to use those maybe as a defensive shield in front of my battle formation. And then I've got the, I think it's the British axemen there with their effective against armor axe, and look how well armored they look as well. So that's the infantry. They look pretty good. And of course the cavalry there. I think I've got a mixture in this particular army. I've got general bodyguard units there, and also I've got the Tsar's Guard, okay, with their full 60-man units there. And if you look, can you see how well armoured they are? They've got a 20 defence. These guys are kind of like the tanks of the medieval Total War game, I think, really. Just looking how well armoured they are. And as I say, they've got a 20 defence and really good stamina as well. So I think the archers and the cavalry in this faction look really good, but the infantry looks a bit, as I say, a bit mediocre there. And as I say, you can easily recognise us. Our Spanish ally Demon's got yellow and red banners, and as you can see, I've got red and blue banners here. But I thought we'd just have a look at the map here. Now, we've looked at this mound before, which I thought was quite interesting to put into a map here, where you can see how it's surrounded by anti-cavalry wooden stakes there, sharpened wooden stakes. So you put a unit on top of there, facing that way, which is the only access point to that mound, because and nobody else is going to attack you with cavalry from any direction, because they'll be killed quite quickly on those wooden stakes. And if we look a little bit more over this map, you'll see there's another mound there. It's got even more I think sharpened wooden stakes, anti-cavalry wooden stakes there as well. But as I say, we've never fully looked at this map before, but there's an enemy camp at the back of the map here. Can you see the enemy camp there? And I thought that was quite interesting there. If you have a look around the enemy camp, we had a battle in this camp a couple of weeks ago where the enemy held there because only a few entrances into this camp, and it was very difficult to fight our way in. Let's say you see inside one of those tents there, look, they've got the wood there ready to set a fire up for when they get back from the battle. I presume they cook their food on there as well. What I liked about it, they even got archery range here. Look, they've got archery targets here, and if you look closely at those archery targets, you'll see they've actually got holes in where they've been practicing. I thought that was a nice little touch. And you notice the camp has got a lot of wooden anti-cavalry sharpened wooden stakes around the camp as well, which makes it difficult for you to use cavalry when you attack this camp. So I just thought it was interesting to have a look at the map a little bit more in detail there. Let's say it's quite a large map, but usually the fighting is confined to this particular part here. Should be a great one for you to watch. And here is the other team. We have MTW2 player Knox, who has bought the Scottish faction. Now, I don't see the Scottish faction used that much, so it'd be interesting to see how well he does with them. And you can see the noble swordsmen there of Scotland. Now, they look really well armoured to me. They look, yeah, as I say, so I should imagine they have a really good defence. And then we move on to the pikemen, the noble pikemen, and they also look well armoured. And look at the length of those pikes that we're going to have to try and fight down to kill the man on the other end. Whoa. And those pikes look solid, don't they? They look really thick pikes as well. So, and they're a 112 man unit, the pike units are, so that's a pretty good Scottish infantry look there. And then you got Highland nobles there. Look like they use double-handed swords there, so I should imagine they'll be quite effective. And then you've got noble swordsmen, and then there are cavalry. He looks like he's gone more infantry based than cavalry from what I can see here. He's got his knights hospitaller there, but he only looks like he's got 2, unless he's got other units hiding in the woods there. I don't know whether he's got other cavalry units hiding in the woods, but it does look like he's gone quite heavy on the infantry there. As I say, he could well have units hiding in the woods there. Now his teammate has got an extremely unusual army build that I've never seen on this game before. Okay, now his teammate is called Jan Pat 2. Okay, now Jan Pat 2 has got 12 infantry units, 12 archer units, 2 infantry units and 6 cavalry. So 12 long range archer units, 2 infantry and 6 cavalry. Now the firepower of 12 archer units is absolutely amazing. As we know, archers are very important on Medieval Total War 2, as all units are susceptible to archer fire, and he's got 12 units of archers. So you imagine the firepower he's going to bring down onto Demon and myself. This should be a great one for you to watch. Okay, normally at the beginning of the battle, the enemy team usually occupy this slope or hill here. You see, that's where the enemy team usually occupy to get a bit of height advantage onto us. Well, they haven't decided to take that hill, so I think Demon's doing a good tactical movement here. He's going to move his army forward to capture that slope or mound or little hill, whatever you want to call it there, so that we'll have height advantage over the enemy team. So I think that's a good strategic tactical move there by Demon, to move his army up onto that hill. Notice he's only walking forward because I think he's anticipating the enemy seeing him moving forward and may run their army forward to actually grab the hill before he can. So now I notice that he is starting to run his army a little bit up onto that slope. But I think that the enemy not grabbing that slope or hill, whatever you want to call it, I think that's a little bit of a tactical disadvantage for them, and us grabbing that hill has given us a big tactical advantage, as we will have the downhill bonuses of our archer fire will obviously go further and do more damage from an elevated position. So I think the enemy not grabbing that slope there, as I say, is a big advantage for us. Okay. So as I say, that was a nice move there by Demon to capture that. As I say, in most games the enemy grab that slope right at the beginning of the battle, so that they've got the kind of downhill advantages that we have now got onto them. So as I say, nice move there by Demon. As I say, you can see Knox there with his Scottish army in front of us. Right, let's just pause the game for a second here. So as I say, there's a nice move there from Demon. You can see I'm moving my archers up there to take advantage of the higher ground. As I say, you've got those Scottish troops there formed up. But here is that Sicilian army there of Pat 2s. As I say, with that massive firepower that he's got there of his archers. Remember, 12 archers. Remember, those Pavis crossbowmen fire effective against armour crossbow bolts. And the other archers he's got there have got long distance range as well. So as I say, 12 archers. On this game, archers are so important, and to bring so many archers could really decimate our armies before we could get even close to them. I think Demon's got 5 missile units, and I think I've got 5 missile units, but between them the enemy have got a lot of missiles there. But also I was just thinking that that Sicilian army has just got 12 archers, 2 infantry, 6 cavalry. So with not having too many infantry, if we attack, in theory we could push straight through those archers, couldn't we? That's what I was thinking there. I don't know what you guys thinking, but the other team have thought about that, and you see how they set up during the course of the battle where they overcome that problem that they could have of not having that much infantry. It's a really well thought out tactic, I think, by the other team there. As I say, up here on this slope now, look, can you see, as I say, Demon's got the downhill advantage now, shooting his muskets and his crossbowmen from an elevated position. And there you are, you can see the Scottish general there sending an infantry unit forward, noble swordsman unit forward there to attack probably the archer units. But as I say, look, he's got to run that unit up that mound now, or up that small hill. And if Demon charges down, then of course Demon gets the downhill charge bonus onto this unit. Here you can see the Scottish unit run that there. You can see the downhill charge bonus going in there, and bang, as those infantry of demons there. I think they're dismounted conquistadores fighting that Scottish infantry unit there. Well, of course, he was so far away from his general as well, his morale would have been very low. That's why that Scottish unit routed. Let's just pause the game for a second here. So, as I say, the enemy have worked out a good thing here. Now, there's all the enemy archers there, okay? 12 archer units, okay? I think some of his archer units are hiding there, but he's got 12 archer units, and there they are there. Now, as I say, we could push through those, couldn't we? But, as I say, if you look at how the enemy have deployed their armies, you can see that his Scottish ally has put a line of Scottish steel in front of his archers. Can you see there? Now we would have to smash through that line of Scottish steel to get to those archers, and all the time we're being held up by those Scottish infantry. Those archers will be shooting effective against armour crossbow bolts and arrows into us all the time. So this is a really good setup by the enemy team. Keep their archers, the massive firepower of the archers at the rear, being guarded by a line of Scottish steel to stop us getting through to those archers. So I think that's a really good setup there by the enemy team. And if you notice here, the Scottish general, I notice, has been harassing and haranguing demons archers. He's thrown an infantry unit in. Here comes a cavalry unit in wedge formation there. Can you see? Charging once again, and bang, as he charged in there. But of course, demons archers have withdrawn, and that cavalry unit charged into those pikes that were set down ready to receive the attack. Plus now archers to be shooting into that cavalry unit, so that cavalry unit's going to rout there, and there you go, it's just routed and it's going to run off. But I noticed that, I don't know if this is part of the enemy team's tactic there to harass and harangue demons archers. You might know, you'll see as the battle unfolds a bit more, that's what they seem to do. They seem to try and disrupt demons archers there. Now can you see the Scottish general here moving forward some of his archer units? Look how far forward he's moving them. Now I must say that the Scottish archers have got very short range, so that's why he's moving them so close, I think. But I think he seems to be a lot closer than what he needs to be. Look how close he is to Demon's army there. Okay, so it seems to me that he got a lot closer there. Also, they've sent another Scottish cavalry unit over to try and disrupt my archers, but we've chased them off there and killed a lot of them. But as I say, I think the Scottish General Knox is more infantry based than cavalry, and the reason he's done that is to cover his allies with all those archers. Okay, as I say, you can see there's a wall of Scottish steel there to protect those archers from our attacks if we decided to attack there. But you can see here that Scottish General, as I say, brought his archers really forward there towards Demon's army. And look how he's got his cavalry unit. Once again, let's see, he didn't actually attack, but he made out he was going to attack. As I say, it's like they're trying to disrupt and harass and harangue Demon's archers there, so that they can't kind of maybe concentrate their fire. And once again, let's see, that cavalry unit looks like it's going to charge, and then it didn't in the end pull back. But as you can see here, Demon's charging his cavalry forward, and bang, as they smash in to those Scottish archers. They're routing one of those Scottish archers on impact. You can see the Scottish general's brought one of his cavalry units in there, attacking Demon's cavalry. But remember what we said, that most people believe that Spain is the most powerful faction in the game, so their cavalry is really good. But as I say here, if you just look at the enemy archers there, as I say, those Pavis crossbowmen, they shoot effective against armour crossbow bolts, and those Muslim archers he's got there have got a long range as well. So not only have they got good penetration power there, they've got long range, all those archers have. And of course being protected by that wall of Scottish steel. Plus he's got the Sicilian player there, Pat, he's got cavalry out there on the left flank to protect the left flank there, and to stop us from trying to go round there. And as I say, that's a really good formation there, I think, for the enemy team. Lots and lots of firepower, as you can see, but being protected by that Scottish infantry. As you can see here, I would think that Demon would want to pull that cavalry unit out of there, because not only is he fighting that enemy cavalry, he's going to be being shot to pieces by all those archers there shooting into him. So that's a good move for him to pull back. Now remember, in this game, once again like in Rome Total War, if your pikes are down and you try and run your cavalry through your pikes, then you will lose cavalry on your own pikes, and it's the same here. I think Demon actually did lose several of his cavalry on his own pikes, running them through them when the pikes were down. If you notice there, can you see some of his Spanish cavalry there dead in front of his pikes? I think he tried to run his cavalry through his pikemen when the pikes were down, and he lost some of his cavalry, so be aware of that, any new players to Medieval Total War 2. As I say, once again, look, can you see he's moving infantry forward, trying to disrupt Demon's archers, as we said earlier, stopping them from concentrating their fire on the Scottish troops. And there you go, you can see that the Sicilian general has brought a cavalry unit in, once again to attack Demon's archers. They're trying to concentrate, because of course if they could take out all of Demon's archers, the firepower that they've got that they could concentrate onto his elite infantry would be absolutely phenomenal. So that's why they're doing it. There's that one Scottish unit that once again sent up to attack Demon's archers. Okay, it's been routed there, but I bet that would have done some harm to his archers. So as I say, the enemy tactics here are pretty good. As I say, lots of firepower from those 12 archer units. The Scottish, a wall of steel stopping us getting to those archers, and they keep harassing Demon's archers, just nibbling away at them, hitting them, causing them casualties, and then running back. So as I say, good tactics here by the enemy team. Once again, you can see that Sicilian cavalry charging forward again. Doesn't really want to fight, obviously, Demon's infantry, or especially not his pikemen as their anti-cavalry, but they would want to take out as many of Demon's archers as they could. And there, see, as Demon counterattacks with his cavalry, can you see the Sicilian general moving his cavalry back out the way? As I say, he doesn't really want to fight the Spanish cavalry. What he really wants to do is try and take out as many of Demon's archers as he can. As you can see, if you look on that little slope where Demon's troops are, you can see the casualties that he's lost already. You can see there lots and lots of Spanish troops there being killed, probably by archers, and those harassing tactics used by the Scottish general there. So as I say, I think the enemy team have set up really well here with a strong defence. Okay, my archers, I've been shooting into the enemy all the time. There, once again, can you see the Scottish general throwing a Scottish unit forward again, as I say, trying to harass, harangue, disrupt Demon's battle formations on the top of that slope there. So, but always maintaining that wall of Scottish steel between us and those crossbowmen and Muslim archers there of the Sicilian general. Let's just pause the game for a second here. So, as I say, if you just look at those 12 units of archers there, with their long range, they've all got long range, protected by their Scottish ally there, as I say, with that wall of Scottish steel between us and them. So the only way we're going to get to those archers is try and attack the Scottish troops there. But of course, as those Scottish troops are holding us up, we're going to be shot to pieces at point blank range by the enemy archers. As I say, I've brought my long distance archers forward here to shoot into the enemy, as I've been doing all the way through the game. As I say, they got good long range, my archers, and they do a lot of damage. But a lot of Demon's archers have been battle depleted here, as you can see. If you look at the numbers there, you can see they've been battle depleted. The Sicilian general, look, he's still bringing his cavalry in, attacking there. Keeps attacking, harassing Demon, kind of not letting him settle, not knowing where the next attack's coming from. Wouldn't surprise me if that Sicilian general just all of a sudden pulled his cavalry back there after just disrupting Demon's battle formation. Demon not knowing when the next attack's coming in from that cavalry. So as I say, I think the enemy, I'm not sure if the enemy team have played together before, but they seem to have gelled quite well, and the setup that they've got seems to be really strong there. And with their harassing tactics that they're using as well, I think they seem to be a really good team. As I say, me and Demon, we're new to this, so we're kind of like the noobs of MTW too. But these two players seem to be quite experienced. So, as I say, the only tactic that we can see to get through to those archers is to try and smash through those Scottish troops there. I don't know what you guys are thinking of other tactics, maybe. Or you can see Demon's Pavis crossbowman there. See the amount of firepower of arrows coming in onto his crossbowman there. A lot of firepower. As I say, my archers there ready to engage the enemy archers if they come forward a bit. As I say, once again, that Sicilian general Pat, they're charging forward with his cavalry, keeping Demon kind of on edge, not knowing when that next cavalry attack's coming in, not knowing being able to settle, if you know what I mean. So as I say, you can see I've moved my archers forward again here to get in range of those Pavis crossbowmen of the enemy. Okay, but you can see, looking at Demon's Spanish army here, he has suffered a heck of a lot of casualties. You can see that. And here you are, let's see, this is where his Pavis crossbowmen, see how they turn their back on the enemy, so their shields that they've got on their back cover them from enemy fire as they turn to reload. But as I say, you can see there's Scottish archers in the woods there shooting into us. And here comes one of those Sicilian cavalry units going to smash into one of my archer units. Now get ready for this. This is some kind of impact. Get ready, lances are down, get ready up. Bang! As they smash in there, throwing some of my archers up into the air there as they hit. That was a massive hit there by that cavalry unit. But what they might not know is that my archers, when I alt attack, have got effective against armor axes. If you notice there, I was charging my cavalry forward there to chase that cavalry unit off, but my Russian archers, when I alt attack, they got effective against armor axes, so they can defend themselves. Right, at this time, Demon's fed up of being shot to pieces on that hill, and I remember he said to me, come on, let's attack. And he is now going to attack here. He's got that downhill advantage there, but if you look at the numbers of his units, you can see how battle depleted they are. But he's going to attack. He's going to smash into the centre of that Scottish line there to try and get through to those archers at the back. Okay, so as I say, that wall of Scottish steel between us and those archers there are going to be tested now, as Demon charges the most powerful faction in the game's infantry into them there. Okay, you can see, as I say, he's going to have the downhill or down slope advantage here as he charges into them, but you can see how battle depleted his units are. There you can see some Scottish troops were going to kind of hit him in the flank, but they routed on impact, so that's good for us. But as I say, Demon's there decide, come on, let's attack. I'm not going to be shot to pieces anymore. And he is now charging there, and you can see him running his infantry into that line of Scottish troops. Get ready for this. And bang, as he hits that line there. It was like a wave hitting rock there, wasn't it, I thought. And you can see that the Sicilian generals brought his infantry forward. Right, you can see the cavalry of Demons charging in there, and bang, as they smash in there, trying to break through that Scottish line there. Okay, you can see I'm running my infantry forward now. My intention here is to try and smash through that Scottish line, obviously to try and get to those archers. But remember, as we're being held up by those Scottish infantry there, those crossbow, effective against armour crossbow bolts, and the arrows from those Muslim archers will be decimating our infantry, and bang, as my spearmen make contact with those Scottish forward units there. Now, as I say, I'm going to try and push through those Scottish infantry, try and get to those archers. Right, now here comes that Sicilian cavalry. He swung round the flank. He's going to try and hit us from the rear. Right, you can see here Demon spotted that and he sent his cavalry up there. Right, you can see I'm now moving my Russian cavalry over the top of that slope there to come down onto that Sicilian cavalry. Okay, you can see my cavalry counter-attacking there, and bang, as my cavalry smashes into that Sicilian cavalry there. Okay, so my Tsar cavalry there, Tsar Guards cavalry, as I say, they're so well armoured. They're like the tanks of the medieval Total War II game there. So you can see them charging. Right, let's pause the game for a second. So let's take stock of exactly what's happening here. You can see my infantry here trying to penetrate that Scottish steel line there to get through to the archers, but make no mistake, those archers are shooting point blank into my troops there from behind those Scottish troops, effective against armour crossbow bolts and all, firing straight into me as I'm trying to press through, force my way through that Scottish line to get to those archers that have been decimating us all through the game. Okay, so make no mistake, I'm really trying to penetrate there. But over here with my cavalry, I'm going to try and chase off that Sicilian cavalry that's been a real pain to Demon all the way through on that right flank. So say I'm going to charge off after them now. Okay, so if you were my cavalry now, what would you do? Would you charge the cavalry straight into that those Scottish infantry there? if you were in charge of my cavalry here, tactical attack question, what would you do with my cavalry? Maybe charge into the flank of those Scottish troops attacking my ally, try and punch through those Scottish troops to get through to those crossbowmen and archers there. Is that what you do if you have my cavalry? I'd have the downhill slope there, wouldn't I? What about if I take my cavalry over to my infantry and assist my infantry at trying to smash through that Scottish line to get to those archers? But what would you do if you were in charge of my cavalry? Okay, what do you think then would be the best option? Be interesting to see here. As I say, I'm really trying to smash through that Scottish line with my infantry here. But as I say, here you can see I'm using my cavalry here to chase down those Sicilian cavalrymen here right now. You know, in battle videos we've talked about battlefield, seeing what's actually happening on the battlefield. Okay, and this is what I'm doing here with my cavalry. I can see an advantage here that I could do with my cavalry that could possibly change the course of the battle. Okay, battlefield awareness is what we call it. Okay, let's pause again for a second here. So you can see the end of the archer line is here. Okay, so you can see all the archers there shooting into us like mad. Okay, targeting my cavalry as well. Okay, so there is the target that we want to hit. We want to try and take them out. Okay, as I say, you can see the damage here that they've caused to Demon's army. There, look, I think he's got one guy left in that musket unit. There, look. That's the last guy of his musket unit left on top of the hill. So you can just look around and see the casualties that that mass load of archers have caused to Demon. So that's the target. We need to take out those archers. And all the time we're fighting here, we're being shot to pieces by those archers there behind that Scottish steel line. So, and here's the end of that Scottish steel line. So what I'm thinking here, if I could get my cavalry, okay, up through here on the hill. Okay, if I could get my cavalry up on the hill here, around the side of those that Scottish battle line there, circumvent the Scottish battle line, and then smash into the flank of those archers. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking there. I'm going to try and take my cavalry up round here. Make no mistake, those archers are shooting into me all the time. But what I'm thinking is if I could get my cavalry up here, circumvent that line of Scottish infantry that have been stopping us getting to those archers. Okay, get up here, and then look, I've got the downhill charge bonus as well to smash in and try and roll up the enemy archers here from left to right. Now look, if I smash into them here, try and roll them up from left to right, bang, as we smash in there, as we charge through there. As I say, I've got the downhill bonus here, charging into those archers, trying to roll them up from left to right. We couldn't seem to smash through that Scottish line to get to them, so we've gone round the Scottish line and smashed in from that side. Now, if I can combine my infantry breaking through these Scottish infantry and hitting the archers this end, then we could link up with my cavalry and infantry. If the cavalry comes smashing down through those archers there, and with my infantry attacking the archers this end, my infantry and cavalry could link up and we could take out most of those archers. Okay, now poor old Demon here, look at the men he's got left in his units. There, you'll see he's only got very few men there fighting that Scottish infantry. But as I say, Spain is supposed to be the most powerful faction in the game, so I'm guessing his infantry will hold for a long time. As I say, you can see my archers moving forward there. I'm probably going to put them in close, tight formation to get more impact, to do more damage. But as I say, the main thing is here, the cavalry, my cavalry now are charging into those damn archers there that have been causing us so many casualties all the way through the game. And as I say, I've got a downhill charge bonus there as well. And as you can see, Demon's broken through one of his cavalry units as well, charging into those archers as well. And as you can see here, can you see how my cavalry is surging down the hill there through those archer units there? Okay, those archers, you can see they've been alt-attacked because they're using their swords against my cavalry, but I'm disrupting them, causing them casualties, routing some of them as well. Okay, some of my cavalry units are routing, and you can see that my infantry has broken through those Scottish troops that were trying to block me, and now my infantry is attacking those archers as well. So now, and you can see Demon, as I say, he's got a couple of his cavalry units, he's broken through the Scottish line as well, and between us now we are starting to roll up those archers. You can see, as I say, a lot of those enemy archers are starting to rout now. That cavalry hit of mine coming down from that left flank seems to have just managed to do it along with Demon's cavalry breaking through and my infantry breaking through that Scottish line now. Now we're just attacking soft, what we call soft targets, which are the enemy archers there. Okay, you can see my infantry really pushing in on those archers. Those archers would look to me like they've been alt-attacked. You can see they're fighting with swords now against my infantry. But archer units against heavy infantry, of course, there's only usually going to be one outcome there, and that is that the archers are going to be routed. But look at the Scottish troops here. You can see here. Right now, I just want to show you how Demon's army has been battle depleted. He's got 2 men in that unit. You've got 6 men in that unit. 2 men in that unit. I think he's got 10 men in that unit, is it? And he's got 1 man in that unit. So that's all his infantry there being attacked by these Scottish infantry, plus the Sicilian cavalry look like they're in there as well. Now if you notice, I've put my archers in close tight formation. Now this gives them makes the impact of the arrows more and their penetration more, and they can cause more casualties. Plus I'm on the slope, so I've got the downhill advantage as well here. But over here you can see that my Russian cavalry and infantry there have routed a heck of a lot of those archers that have been shooting into us all the way through the game. It wouldn't surprise me if that Sicilian player gets massive kills, because the amount of damage that he's done with those archers on our troops, especially Demon's troops. Demons suffered a heck of a lot of casualties from that archer fire that was coming in on us there. So as I say, there you can see our troops doing really well now against the enemy troops. Okay, so as I say, I've got my archers there in close tight formation, shooting arrows there into those Scottish troops that are attacking my Spanish ally there. I think Demon's doing really well there with the infantry that he's got left. I say, look, he's got 2 men in that unit. I think that was the enemy unit there we just looked at there. But look at all those Scottish troops plus the Sicilian cavalry closing in on him there. And as I say, I've got my my infantry fighting the Scottish infantry here. Plus I've thrown cavalry in there as well. So I think that Scottish infantry held well until we got in behind them there. I thought that cavalry charge there going up round the flank of the Scottish steel line there and then crashing into the archers from that left flank could have been maybe battle changing there, possibly. And as I say, you can see those Scottish troops there charging into us. Demon's got his cavalry doing well, charging into the rear of those Scottish troops as my infantry are fighting them head on there. Hammer and anvil attack there, with my infantry being the anvil and those Spanish cavalry being the hammer there. Hammer and anvil attack. You can see those Scottish troops stuck in between the two of us, and my effective against armour axemen there, causing a lot of casualties there to those Scottish infantry, and we looks like we've routed them there. So we've done well. Looks like we've taken out most of those enemy archers there and the Scottish infantry that was guarding them. And here you can see, I think Demon's done very well with those Spanish infantry that he had left. You can see I'm charging my archers forward there, maybe with a view to alt attack them. Remember, they've got effective against armour axes as their secondary weapon, so they can be used as good light infantry. As they're running forward there, you can see, as I say, I can see a couple of them carrying axes. They are carrying axes there, so I think that they're, as I say, looking to me like I'm going to alt attack with my archers there. Good solid infantry. They can be like light infantry with their effective against armour axes, and you can see us charging in there just to finish off the rest of those Scottish infantry there. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second here. So as I say, we've taken out all those archers that were shooting into us all game and causing us massive casualties. As I say, it wouldn't surprise me. There you are. You can see Demon's got 14 cavalry in that one unit left. Let's have a look at the strength in the rest of his units. Okay, so that one infantry unit, oh my gosh, 1 man left in that infantry unit, another 1 man left in that infantry unit, and 2 men left in that infantry unit. And how many men in that one? And 3 men left in that infantry unit. So that just goes to show the casualties that he suffered there. A real battle of attrition there. And I think he's got a couple of missile units left up on top of the slope there. He's got 3 men in that one. 13 men in that one. That seems a lot, doesn't it? Oh my gosh, 21 men in that one. And 1 man in that one. I think there's let's say just the one guy left in that musket unit left there. So as I say, you can see it was a real battle. Just look at the dead on the hill there, caused by mostly by those archer fire going into us there, plus those Scottish troops were attacking him as well, harassing and haranguing there. But as you can see, bear in mind this is only a 2v2, you can see how intense the fighting was by just the piles of dead. Looking at the piles of dead at certain parts of the battlefield there, especially where we were trying to fight through that wall of Scottish steel to get to those enemy archers that have been causing us so many casualties all the way through the battle there. Here you are, you can see us fighting maybe one of the last of the enemy Scottish infantry units there, and we've just routed that unit, and I think it's just maybe the last of the Scottish units left there, which we're just finishing off now with infantry and cavalry. So I think that Russian army of mine didn't seem to do too badly. But of course, just playing one battle with them, you don't really get a feeling. You have to play several battles with a faction to get used to it there. But as I say, between Demon and myself there, we've managed to rout, I think, the last of the enemy troops there. But I was just looking at this particular part of the battlefield. Just look at that massive pile of dead there. That was some massive battle there. I think that was where a Demon's infantry first hit that Scottish wall of steel, trying to get through to the enemy archers there. So as I say, I think I thought the enemy did well. They set up really well there. So they got that massive archer fire on us, like causing all these casualties. You could see the casualties that Demon suffered here on top of this slope. You can just see that, and there's that last musketeer unit left there. I always think when you see one man left in the unit there, it just goes to show how well that unit's done. You can see, look, can you see the pikes there? If you dropped on the ground from the dead pikemen there, where they were killed, they just dropped their pikes obviously just on the ground there. I think that's quite interesting to see. But as I say, there it's a very intense battle there just for a 2v2, and the amount of dead on the ground, I think, is quite amazing. Let's just speed the game up a little bit there as say our team managed to go on to win. Okay, first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game. Well played, guys, and an average victory there. I thought it would have been a close victory myself, looking at the casualties that we suffered. And the highest kills in the game goes to Jan Pat 2 with his Sicilian army of 12 archers, 2 infantry and 6 cavalry. 1,871 kills. I think if you look at Demon's and my kills combined, we only got a few hundred more than his total kills. So combining our kills, we only got a few hundred more than his kills. So he did really well there. Don't forget, 12 archers, 2 infantry, 6 cavalry. Knox, 525 kills, probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but he was quite defensive. Most of his infantry were quite defensive there. But as I say, well done to that Jan Pat 2 with that Sicilian army of his. As I say, 12 archers, 2 infantry, 6 cavalry. And that Russian army of mine didn't do too badly, 1,171 kills. And well done to Demon there, 1,056 kills there. Bearing in mind he was suffering so many casualties from those archers, I thought he got some good kills. Knox with that Scottish army there. As I say, he was very defensive there with his infantry. He attacked it a little bit with his cavalry, but well done to that Jan Patu. Who would have thought that with 12 archers, 2 infantry and 6 cavalry, he would have got massive kills like that? But it just goes to show how important archers are in this game. Quick look at my battle statistics there. Some of my archers didn't do too badly. Not brilliantly. The Tsar Guards didn't do too badly there. The general bodyguard units I had there didn't do great. And as I say, I've got a feeling the infantry, pretty mediocre infantry. Yeah, not really great kills with the infantry there for the casualties they suffered. So I think the Russian infantry, as I say, pretty mediocre there. So I hope you enjoyed this unusual battle. Please leave a thumbs up if you did. Look forward to seeing you soon, and bye for now.